Welcome back to Fourth and Funny. I'm your host, Jake Mattis. Let's dive into week number 3 of the NFL. Let's get into it. Man, last week was a lot of fun having Darren Lewis hang with me here in the shed and pick some games. Last week we both went 12-2, which was pretty spot on for what I thought. A lot of our picks were the same. We'll see if the guests that I bring in the shed the rest of the season will have those same thoughts as I do, or if maybe their picks are going to get a little different. But let's start off with quarterback graveyards this week, guys. Man, we have really, already week 3, we have got a laundry list of quarterbacks that are just banged up and going to be out. Jaden Daniels dealing with a back injury. J.J. McCarthy with the high ankle sprain. We've also got Joe Burrow had turf toe this week, and he will be out for another 3 to 4 months. So, see what happens with Cincinnati. But that just seems to be it's just the few that are right on the tip of my tongue as far as quarterbacks that are just dinged up, banged up, and done already. So here we are getting Carson Wentz, and I don't even know who the Commanders' backup quarterback is. It's going to be a wild week 3 for some of these teams, and Cincinnati has gone out and picked up a few quarterbacks off the scrap heap, some practice squad guys and things like that. So we'll see if they can make do with their room. I don't see Joe Burrow playing again in Cincinnati in 2025. Yeah, I said 2025 because I don't think there will be a 2026 for them. I don't see them making the playoffs, not with Joe Burrow being out. Which leads me to another AFC team that my mom happens to be a fan of, unfortunately, and that would be the Miami Dolphins. Wow. I can't believe that listening to some of these press conferences that Mike McDaniels has done, that this man is an NFL head coach. Do yourself a favor. Just pause this podcast. Go watch some Mike McDaniels interviews. Come back and tell me how this man's an NFL head coach. I just don't get it. Last week we talked about, with Darren Lewis, we talked about the over-under as far as what week is Mike McDaniels gonna get the boot there in Miami. And after this week and listening to him just talk more and more, I'm beginning to put it somewhere between week 4 and 5 is my barometer for where Mike McDaniels is going to just get his card. He's going to show up and his card's not going to work. Show up to the office one day and just access denied. We'll ship you your shit, dude. Just go. But sticking in the AFC, why don't we talk a little bit Kansas City? What's up with that? Is there a crisis in Kansas City? We've got Patrick Mahomes doing Mahomes things. We know Xavier Worthy is still going to be out with that separated shoulder from friendly fire in week 1. I don't know what it is. Are they going to start the year 0-3? This is the first time they've lost 3 games in a row dating back to the Super Bowl in a while. My team, the Lions, we haven't lost back-to-back games since October of 22 or 23 maybe. So it's been a minute for us to lose like that as well. So I get that. I said it at the beginning of the year. I don't know that Kansas City is going to have enough gas in the tank to run away with that division, or let alone be the powerhouse Kansas City Chiefs that they used to be. I don't feel that they right now are a contender for that number 1 seed. It's early in the year. We're not even to the quarter mark. So There's still a lot of story left to play out. We'll see how it does. But right now, there may be a bit of a crisis in Kansas City. Is Andy Reid close to hanging it up? Guy's been in it a long, long time. But they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles last week in a Super Bowl rematch that happened very early in the season. Usually we don't get Super Bowl rematches that early. But it was exciting, and it definitely was all it was billed out to be for a while. But of course, Philadelphia's signature play had to rear its ugly head. And as sponsored by Dude Wipes, Tush Push. Mike Pereira said it on the broadcast. I'm done with this. NFL owners argued so much and were very, very tight on these talks about banning the Tush Push, allowing the Tush Push, whatever. Like it, love it, just stop it. Put all your energy into trying to figure out how to stop it. I don't know how. I'm not smart enough. But that's what you've got to do. You've just got to figure out a way to stop it. Owners have tabled discussion for at least a year on it at their meetings, so we're going to actually have to live through this season and next before we get another vote on the Tush Push going away or someone getting injured from this. I don't like the Tush Push. There's teams that can do it. There's teams that can't. The Bills tried their version of it. Josh Allen is a big dude. He can pull it off. Don't send Jared Goff into a pile like that. Please don't. Nothing against Kyle Allen, but please don't, Detroit. Don't send Jared Goff into a Tush Push situation. But speaking of the Lions, forward down the field, Ben Johnson was back in the building last weekend. I don't agree with the whole fuck Ben Johnson deal. We're not about that. Ben Johnson helped us. Did he go to the enemy? Yeah. Did we throat stomp him? Yeah. Okay. Move on. He's coaching the Bears. We've got business to take care of. It was fun. That Lions roar was big. But we'll see if that can continue into this week. Taking on the Baltimore Ravens Monday night. I'm going to be jacked for that one. But let's get into some other picks before we get to that Monday night game. We'll start it off with Cincinnati and Minnesota. Again, talked about it at the top with the quarterback graveyards. Both these teams coming in with banged up quarterbacks, starting backups, Carson Wentz, and I'm assuming Jake Browning. I don't follow a lot of Cincinnati sports ball, but that would just be the ideal choice, I feel like. In this game, I think Jake Browning's been there, done that before for Cincinnati, carried them when Joe B was hurt. Carson Wentz, he's been a journeyman since he left Washington. Yeah, he can make the throws. He can do the things. O'Connell's offense. But they're also down Aaron Jones. So we'll see if Justin Jefferson is the main target. I haven't heard much from Hawk this year either. But I like Cincinnati in this game. I just think that Jake Browning with those weapons, they're still more of a complete team. Plus, Minnesota has kind of looked a little bit of a mess after that nice comeback win against the Bears. But that kind of took a little bit away from that once we saw what the Bears really are, and that's just a dumpster fire. Texans and Jags. Not much to go off on this one. It's Texans and Jags, guys. I'm going to take Houston in this matchup just because I'm not a big Jags fan. I still don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think he's one of those college dudes that was just a dude in college and just couldn't coordinate it to the NFL level. He's had different coordinators, different head coaches. At some point, something's got to click, and it's not just necessarily consistency. It's the speed of the game, the the bond you have with certain players, and I just don't know that he has that. So, yeah, give me the Texans in this one. Now we have the surprising 2-0 Colts. 2-0 Colts going up against Tennessee. Tennessee is another one of those teams that's just going to be picking high in the draft again. They've got a rookie QB. Coach is a little on the hot seat early, I guess. I don't think so. I think you need to give him at least 2 years on this one. Colts all the way on this one. Let the owner be down there taking her notes. Do what she needs to do. Her team's 2-0 right now. Just let her do what she's doing. We got the Raiders traveling across country to the Washington Commanders, and in this game, yeah, it's just going to be the Raiders. Again, I mentioned it at the quarterback graveyard right off the rip. Jaden Daniels got a back injury. He's not going to be playing this week. At least as of the taping of this podcast, he's not listed to be playing. So I'm going to be taking the Raiders in this one. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll and the crew, maybe even Tom Brady calling plays from the booth while calling the game. Who knows? It wasn't that interesting seeing Tom Brady in the booth with a headset on in a suit. That looked odd to me. Like, that's almost as bad as if we saw Jerry Jones in the booth with a headset. Which, come to think about it, I'm surprised we haven't. We're going to have to look that up. Anyways, getting back to the picks, we got the Rams and the Eagles. These are two NFC teams that I feel are going to be Lions issues in the playoffs and later in the season for seeding and things like that. The Eagles are very tough, put together team, reigning Super Bowl champions. I just feel like that team still has got that mojo. They're still doing their thing, keeping it rolling. Matt Stafford and the Rams, their defense keeps them in a lot of games, and he can still sling the ball. You know, he'll still whip it down there. You know, hand it off, do the things. But I like the Eagles in this game. Again, I feel they may end up with the number 1 seed in the NFC by the time it's all said and done. Unfortunately, but yeah, give me the Eagles in that game. Atlanta taking on the Panthers. This is an easy one. Carolina's a dumpster fire. Bryce Young is washed. I don't know. He maybe water boy for the rest of the year. I don't know. I don't know why he's not an NFL quarterback. You could just tell from his size. Like, he looks like a little kid out there. So yeah, give me Atlanta. Then we've got Pittsburgh and New England. Rodgers is going to be out there YOLOing again. The Patriots still a little bit of rebuilding, rebranding, as we say, to rebuild some of that magic that maybe Coach Belichick left under a rug somewhere in that building. But yeah, give me Pittsburgh in that game. Then we've got Green Bay taking on Cleveland. Green Bay taking on Cleveland. I don't know that this may be a defensive game just because Cleveland's defense can hold water. I feel like they can hold their own. But I have Green Bay taking this one. Again, Green Bay is going to be a divisional problem for the Lions, and they're going to be off to a 3-0 start, and we're going to be playing catch-up with them all season long. We have the Jets and the Bucks. This one doesn't really pique my interest too much other than Baker Mayfield is really just putting a comeback story for the ages. You know, he just writes another chapter after another chapter. Last week on Monday night, storybook. And to think that this guy was a Cleveland Brown at one point, that's like, once you're a quarterback there, usually that's where your career goes to die. That, or it used to be Detroit, and it seems that we're reviving that. So, better Baker in this one. Give me the Bucks. We've got Broncos and Chargers. This is an AFC West matchup. Who's got it better than we do? Nobody. That's right. Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers are going to lead that division. I can see it now. They're going to win the division. Harbaugh can coach in the NFL. I said it last week. I'll say it this week, and I'll probably say it again next week. Harbaugh can coach in the NFL. I think Bo Nix may be going through that sophomore slump. Maybe that was just too much on his plate. Maybe I don't know what it is with Bo Nix, but last year he seemed like a real gunslinger, a Josh Allen Jr., you might say. But I haven't really seen that much out of him this year. That's a game that I'll have to pay a little bit more attention to, but give me the Chargers in that game too. Then we're going to transition over to Seattle and New Orleans. New Orleans, whoever plays New Orleans, if you're in a Survivor Series, take whoever's playing them. And this week it happens to be Seattle, so take the Seahawks to beat New Orleans. That's my pick. Dallas and Chicago, this should be a fun one, huh? I hate both these teams. Jerry Jones and Ben Johnson, those are the two storylines I'm taking away from this game. How do the Bears rebound from a literal kick in the knuckus to going to have to play Dallas, who they can score. They can kick field goals. I mean, what, they hit a 70-yard field goal last week against the Giants. Got that pick right. Give me the boys in this one. They're going to hand Ben Johnson 3-0 or 0-3 start, and let the trash continue to burn in Chicago, I guess. Maybe Chicago does need the National Guard. I don't, but because their defense is not good. Anyways, we've got Arizona and the 49ers getting into some of these later games of the day. We got the Cardinals and the Niners. I've said it. Cardinals, I think, are going to be that surprise team that wins that division. The Niners aren't very good without Brock Purdy. They beat the Saints last week. Woo! Throw a parade on Bourbon Street. It was the Saints and Spencer Rattler. Come on, calm down. The Mac attack, he did okay, but you still have a half-dead lineup. I don't know if CMC is going to play. And here we get down to two of the most interesting games of the week for me that I'll probably pay a lot of attention to, and that's the Sunday night game, Kansas City and the Giants. That game is going to show us, is there a crisis in Kansas City? The Giants are playing better than I expected them to at the start of the year. Russell Wilson may have found a little bit of magic left in that gas tank, and he seems to be cooking. So let Russ cook. Their defense still seems to be pretty solid up front. Burns and Thibodeau, and it's the linebacker that they drafted this year. His name escapes me right now, but I feel like even with an older quarterback, you still have neighbors. I feel the Giants may be the stronger, faster team and can outlast Kansas City. I don't know that Kansas City has, like I said, the gas in the tank to keep pushing it. I think that window is closed for them. They may even miss the playoffs. That's a bold take in going into week 3. But it wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City miss the playoffs. And of course, the game of the week for me comes down to the last game of week 3. And that's my Detroit Lions traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Jim Harbaugh and the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely is out for this game. So that's one tight end that our defense doesn't have to worry about. But still got Mark Andrews, and that defense there in Baltimore is stacked. The last time the Lions played in Baltimore, we got our ass handed to us. I don't know that that's going to be the case. But at the start of the year when I said 11-6, there's a few losses on that way to get to 11-6. And personally, I feel like this game I had already chalked up as one of those. So I do feel the Lions drop this game. I don't gamble on the Lions. I believe it's 4.5 or 5.5 is the points. If I was betting, I would probably take the Lions in the points. I feel like they're going to play a tighter game. After watching Baltimore last week, I think the Lions are built and have developed enough that they can hang with them, but I don't see them beating them. If they lose by more than a touchdown, I would be surprised. I don't see this a 10-point loss or anything like that. I feel the Lions are going to hold in there and hang tight. It's a Monday night. It's going to be loud. It's going to be ruckus in Baltimore. But I don't see the Lions pulling this one out. But if they do, we'll take it. And that's one of those bonus wins in the column that allows for hopefully not a slip up, but there's always that possibility. So steal a game when you can, or stick to the script. To me, this game doesn't sway my decision. I just don't want to see us go out to Baltimore and get annihilated. That's one thing. Like, if you're gonna go swing with the big boys, go swing with the big boys. Don't go doing none of this. Go out there and just hit them. Get after it. All right, guys. Those are the picks. Those are the games. And this has been